Good afternoon, YouTube. Brendan coming at you from Top Secret Imports in Durham, North Carolina. This is a 1993 Honda Acty K-Truck, and it belongs to a customer of ours. Today, we're gonna do an oil and filter change, and we're gonna take you along with us. Let's go inside. All right, guys, so in order to perform an oil change on an Acty, you'll only need a few things. One is a US market oil filter. We're using Denso filter 15020006, which can be cross-referenced to any other part that your store carries, should they not carry Denso. We also choose a mobile synthetic blend motor oil. It's a 5W30 weight, perfect for these little high revving engines. You'll of course need a funnel with ideally a long flexible extension for refilling your oil due to how the Acty is designed. More on that in a minute. Next up, you'll need a 17mm crescent wrench, socket, or wrench of your choosing for the oil drain plug, some sort of oil filter wrench, or in our case, and in the case of most garages, you'll select either a bird's beak channel lock or a similar tool. You'll want to have a little magnetic work light, as well as a little magnetic drain plug remover to make the job easy and clean. Of course, a rag for your hands, and ideally some nitrile work gloves or something available at your local auto parts store. Now, let's get underneath the truck and see how it's all done. Key tool to changing the oil in your Honda Acty is, of course, the oil drain pan. Now, for us, we have a lift and rolling pan, but of course, if you're working in your driveway, it's fine to go ahead and set it on jacks and jack stands and use any sort of drain pan available to you at your local auto parts store. Now let's dive in and get the oil changed. Step one, light up the area. Our little magnetic work light here makes a great tool to illuminate the area, making easy access and quick work of the job ahead. All right, guys, step two with the Honda Acty for changing your oil is, of course, to go ahead and loosen your oil drain plug while preparing your drain pan underneath to go ahead and capture that initial slosh of oil. We loosen ours. We're gonna raise our pan directly under the plug and then loosen it with our fingers until it starts to drain. Once it does, undo the final thread and allow it to fall away into your drain pan or pull it away quickly, retaining it in your hands. All right, guys, once your oil has fully drained, go ahead and examine your crush washer and reinstall your drain plug using either your existing crush washer or replacing it with a new one. It is okay to reuse your existing crush washer on an Acty if it is not clearly dimpled in and completely crushed, because you do have an aluminum oil pan and they are designed to just snug up gently so that they don't damage your truck. Once installed, again, give that oil drain plug about a 1/8 turn to ensure it's nice and snug without over tightening. All right, guys, step three, changing your oil on your Honda Acty. Of course, once you've got your drain plug reinstalled, you can go ahead and loosen and remove your oil filter, being very careful while you loosen it, because the last bit of oil from the oil filter housing as well as the filter itself is going to drain out from this point. Allow that to finish draining, then remove your oil filter as carefully as possible, allowing it to fall into your drain pan, or if you can, retain it in your hands for disposal. All right, next up, of course, you're going to go ahead and install your new filter using a little bit of the old oil to lubricate the gasket and ring around the new filter. Carefully threading that on, as both the filter and the oil filter housing is aluminum, so be very careful not to cross thread it. Hand tighten your filter, clean the area, double check everything, and you should be good to go and ready to refill. All right, guys, once you've drained your oil and reinstalled your oil filter, you're gonna go ahead and ready the truck for refilling. Of course, the Honda Acty oil fill cap is on the rear passenger corner of the truck, so you're gonna go ahead and carefully remove your cap and install your funnel to go ahead and refill your oil. Of course, if you've got a funnel with a flexible head, you'll go ahead and stick that down in your filled neck. And then we have added a couple of little zip ties for some backyard engineering, allowing us to hang the funnel on the side while refilling. Next up is that 5W30 weight oil. Again, we're using a mobile super synthetic blend, not sponsored. Mobile, go ahead and hit us up.
How many quarts?
We're gonna go ahead and fill the oil with 2.5 quarts to start. And then we're going to go ahead and run the truck briefly, check our levels, and add and adjust as needed. The oil capacity in the Acty is just about 2.5, 2.6 quarts with a little residual oil in the pan and filter housing from the oil change. All right, guys, once you've run the vehicle for a couple of quick seconds, turned it off, gone ahead and let things settle, you're going to go ahead and unscrew your oil dipstick. That's right, I said unscrew your oil dipstick. Right here behind the passenger wheel, you'll find your short little dipstick. You're going to go ahead and pull that out, clean it off with a rag, reinstall the dipstick all the way in, rethreading it. Go ahead, bed that thing all the way in there to read accurately. Then unscrew the dipstick again, and we'll show you what it looks like on camera and whether or not we need to adjust the oil level or if we're good where we are. And as you can see, the fresh oil is very clean and difficult to see on camera, but it looks like we need to add just a touch more. All right, guys, couple little pro tips once you're finished changing your oil and filter that you should know about your Honda Acty and Acty ownership in general. First, the Honda Acty is a high revving little engine, and being a 25-year or older vehicle, may consume a little oil between changes. We recommend checking the oil level every second or third fuel fill up to understand how much oil your Acty might consume and whether or not you need to keep it topped up between changes. In regards to the oil and filter changes, many people drive their Acty very few miles. We find it's important to regularly service it, keeping fresh oil and a new filter on it every 6 months or every 5,000 kilometers, which is about 3,000 US miles. Go ahead and take care of your Acty, keep it lubricated, keep your oil topped off, and it will give you years of enjoyment. All right, guys, thanks everyone for joining us today. This was our first attempt at a real YouTube video. We wanted to give you some helpful information that will hopefully elevate your Honda Acty ownership, give you some more knowledge about it. You can find us online at social media. I think we're supposed to say things like subscribe to this channel, like this video, maybe you could share it. And I think we're topsecretrtp.com, at topsecretrtp on Instagram. Find us here on YouTube, Top Secret RTP. We're going to continue producing these videos. We'll show you some more maintenance, minor repairs, and things that you might encounter in your everyday use of your Acty, Sandbar, Hi-Jet, or whatever K-Truck you might be enjoying. Thanks so much for joining us on this video, and stay tuned for more. Oh man, I forgot to mention all those products and tools that we use to change the oil on our Acty are linked down below. You can click on any of those links and get it delivered to your house. Thanks for joining us.